Hello, we are back. And it's time for the last part of Reunion and Turnabout. So in the last part, we definitely have proved, or at least we pretty much proved, that Ini Miney is the one who shot Dr. Turner Gray. Or killed Dr. Turner Gray, anyway. And we think Morgan helped her. But now we need to definitively prove it. So that's what we're going to do now. I have put down the encoder settings again on my thing. And I've reduced the frame rate again. So it's now running like so. I've put the settings as like low as they can be rationally. So I'm hoping that the encoder doesn't break this time. But, you know, we'll hope for the best. Yeah. We'll hope for the best. Right, let's go. June 22nd, 12:04 PM, District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Is it really true about my aunt? I'm afraid so, Maya. There's no way Ini could have killed Dr. Gray by herself, and the sound is okay. That's good. And under the circumstances, there's no one else other than your Aunt Morgan. That's terrible. Why? Why would my aunt? Everything is going just as I predicted. Oh, everything is going just as I predicted, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ugh, Miss Von Karma. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to take revenge on Nick? Nick had nothing to do with what happened to your dad. Don't you have something better to be worrying about? Say, your own situation? Ugh, looking down on me even though we're the same age. Are you done yet? You've caused me enough pain and suffering. Not yet. My goal is to defeat you and let the whole world know of your defeat. But even if you do that, it won't bring your father back. Whatever. In the meantime, let's bring this match to its conclusion. And then we'll know who the real winner is. June 22nd, 12:10 PM, District Court, courtroom number 2. Rhubarb, rhubarb, rhubarb. Court will now reconvene, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, right, that was the question. I'm an idiot. Can you prove Miss Ini Miney had a motive? Yes, I believe I can. Ini Miney and Dr. Gray have only one point of connection. And that is the car accident 1 year ago. The motive I'm looking for must be there. Miss Miney, please testify to the court about your car accident last year. Huh? I thought, you wanted to, ask about my, motive. I, don't see the point in, bringing up the past. Miss Miney, if you please. Okay. I totally don't think it'll do any good, but... Last year's accident. That was, last year in May? Something really bad had happened at, my sister's clinic around then. And, the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired while she was driving. I was, totally pooped, too, so I, fell asleep in the passenger seat. I, woke up because of the jolts. And, it was a sea of flames around me. I, opened the door and, got away. I think I've heard of this incident. It was all the talk in the tabloid shows day after day last year. Yes, and there was talk about Dr. Gray drugging your sister. Ugh. Those were merely rumors. Totally baseless gossip. Yes. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Right now, it's impossible to prove that Dr. Gray did in fact drug Miss Miney's sister. Yeah, which means I'll have to work this from another angle. Last year's accident. That was last year in May. Didn't some sort of medical malpractice happen at your sister's hospital then? Yeah, like, that was in May too. Like, the thing with all the patients dying was, like, May 2nd. And, like, our accident was, like, on the 24th. 2 accidents back to back. Do you assume it's just a coincidence? My sis was, like, totally tired, so that's why, duh. Like, something really bad had happened at, like, my sister's clinic around then? Is he gonna say the same thing? No. That was the malpractice incident where 14 patients died, correct? Yeah. What was the cause of the mistake? It's that woman. What was her name? Damn, I've watched so many documentaries about her. The Angel of Death. From that hospital where she killed all the babies. It's like a really well-known true crime case in the UK, and her name has went out of my head. Anyway, every time they say this, like, oh, these people died, and I just keep thinking of her, the Angel of Death. Like, I heard it was because the medicines, like, got mixed up. Was that the fault of your sister, Ini Miney? Like, no way. Dr. Gray, like, wanted to blame it on my sis? That incident has nothing to do with our murder here. Besides, the police report has already documented that it was entirely Ini Miney's fault. Which means as far as the real facts are concerned, Ini Miney is the one who made the mistake. But, like, it really wasn't my sis. And, like, the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired while she was driving. She was totally tired? You mean exhausted? Like, she had to talk to the police and, like, was being investigated, like, every day. It was, like, a totally terrible situation. It's no wonder, then, that the car accident happened, huh? Press harder. So then, why didn't you ask to switch places? Huh? Like, what are you talking about? I meant switch drivers. If your sister was so tired, then you should have switched with her. True, true. Ah, but like, I don't, like, have a driver's license. I was waiting for that. This is news to me. I was not aware you didn't have a license, Miss Miney. She does, though, because they found the picture. Miss Miney, please amend your testimony. Like, okay, anyway. I was, like, totally pooped, so I, like, fell asleep in the passenger seat. The accident happened at night, correct? Yeah, like, it was at, like, 1 AM or so, I think. I had, like, a paper due, like, really soon. So, like, I hadn't slept and was working, like, real hard. So it was because the two of you were so tired that this accident happened. I, like, woke up because of a jolt, and, like, it was a sea of flames around me. And your sister? What happened to her? I didn't see her. The car was, like, totally black, and there was, like, a ton of smoke. I, like, totally had, like, no clue what was going on. I, like, opened the door and, like, got away. Please tell us we're escaping with you. Right, so I'm thinking, right? I'm having a think. So I said in a previous episode, right? Just gonna check. This is definitely not... Okay, no encoding error right now. I was saying in a previous episode that I thought that there must have been some significance with the fact they had to rebuild her face from the license photo, right? And I don't know if I'm just being completely out there, but then that says Phoenix Wright and everything is out there. I'm thinking, she's Ini Miney. They reconstructed her face off her sister's license, and that's why she's saying she doesn't have a license, because Mimi never had a license, but Ini did. Ini was driving, Ini died, Mimi got out the car, Mimi's face was reconstructed into Ini. She assumed Ini's identity, but she's pretending to be Ini, which is why she keeps talking in this weird way, like keeps being like, but then when they push her too hard, her whole demeanor changes because she's pretending to be Ini, so she's like putting on Ini's persona, like what she was like in life, but she's actually Mimi. And the reason she's doing all this is to get revenge on her boss, who she blames for the death of her sister Ini. That's what I think. And she couldn't swap seats when Ini was driving because only Ini had a license, but Mimi didn't. And Mimi, she's Mimi. That's what I think. But I could be completely off. But that's what I think. Please tell us about your escape in more detail. I like kept wanting to forget that time. So like, I don't remember things about the accident in like detail anymore. Well, it's alright. No need to push yourself. I think I like gave an interview after the accident. Like, that would probably be the most accurate, you know? If it's that article, then I've already got it. I like didn't have my license, so I couldn't take over driving for her. And that's why you were in the passenger seat. Like, yeah. I was like at my college's research lab till like really late. So my sis was like giving me a ride home. I see. Phoenix. Yes? You can't do this. You're being too easy on her. There's got to be some sort of secret sleeping in this testimony. Yeah, so let's find that one crushing contradiction and end this. So it's the driver's license, obviously. I love when it goes quiet. Miss Meany, that was a lame lie just now. Like, what do you mean? I know you had a license back then. This is a photo you took for the express purpose of getting a driver's license. What's the meaning of this, Miss Meany? That's right! Yeah, I had, like, a license, but I didn't get it until after the accident. That's not true either, because you got it from the hospital. You had it at the time of the accident. Director Haughty, or the guy pretending to be him anyway, said so. What? Are you talking about that perverted fake clinic director? Yeah, that perverted fake clinic director. And how did you know he was perverted? No one cares. Witness, when did you receive your driver's license? Like, last November. What? November? The accident happened last May. That's a half a year lapse in time, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What in the... That's what happened, Mr. Wright? At the time of the accident, Miss Meany did not have a driver's license. Ugh. Ow. Cry, and my whip will accommodate. Anyway, without a license, the witness and her sister could not have switched drivers. I'm, like, glad you get it, but, like, even if I had my license, I, like, don't think my sis would have, like, let me drive. Don't just stand there humming to yourself. Not you too, Mia. With the whip, and the pain, and the ow. Miss Meany, why do you think you would not have been allowed to drive anyway? Why is Mia allowed to speak here? That's because... I think the situation calls for a more detailed testimony. Miss Meany, if you please. Eh? Like, how annoying. Oops, like, sorry, didn't mean to be mean. I'm gonna be really gutted if it doesn't turn out this way, I'm gonna be honest. Right. I wouldn't be allowed. Like, around that time, I was, like, really close to getting my license. My sis was, like, this totally big fan of cars and, like, really valued them. She, like, had just gotten this really shiny bright red sports car. She, like, would say things like, no way am I letting a noob drive my car. So, like, that's why I ended up in the passenger seat that night, too. Okay. That's understandable, I guess. I see, a bright red car for sports. Now then, the defense may question the witness. I'm not terribly knowledgeable about cars, but... Around that time, I was like really close to getting my license. So what do you mean by really close? Like, I had one of those permit things. I think that's what they're called. Permit. Wow, the big name lawyer boy doesn't even know what a driver's permit is. Well, this lawyer never had a permit. Ignorance is to be whipped. What is with her? All she said in the last few minutes is utter nonsense. So, like, may I continue? My sister's like this totally big fan of cars and like really valued them. She valued cars. How much would you say she valued her car? Not enough to not crash it. Well, she'd like flip out at like a drop of rain. And like, she would notice if someone like touched the car door with a dirty hand. In that case, why bother taking the car out of the garage ever? Press harder. Why did she take such special care of the car? How can you say that? It was a brand spanking new car. New car? Like, you wouldn't want to, like, get it dirty, would you, Mr. Lawyer? I would think that cars getting dirty is just another fact of life, but I guess people who really love cars think otherwise. Phoenix, try asking something with more significance, alright? Get off my back, Mia. Well, Miss Miney, what kind of car was it? She, like, had just gotten this really shiny bright red sports car. It was a new car. Yeah. She had, like, just gotten it. It was, like, from the UK. Was that her boyfriend's initials? And it was a really special model. She had waited a whole year for it to arrive. I guess her love of cars would be the obvious next topic. But I really don't know anything about cars. But I had a feeling this was bound to come up. Your Honor. Yes? Please append what the witness has just said to her testimony. You mean the part about it being a special car from overseas? Yes. Well, if you like cars that much then. That's not my point. Though to be honest, I don't know what the point is either. Miss Miney, would you please fix your testimony? Sure, whatever. My sister's new car was like totally special model from England. I yelled hold it pretty forcefully, but I don't actually know what to ask about cars. Ask for the heck of it. I love it. So yeah. What am I supposed to pick for a topic? Let's start with this. Why are British cars good? Like, huh? They're expensive, and their driver's seat is opposite to our cars here in the States. It would seem there is no benefit to owning one. Like, huh? This whole steering wheel on the right side thing, it's kinda goofy, isn't it? What do you know? That sleek See what I mean? She's the one that's into cars, but she says she doesn't have a license, but she's the one that's obsessed with a car, and she's yelling at him for criticizing her choice of car because it's her car. It's not the other girl's car. It's her car. But now I'm confused. Wait, no, because Ini's the one that has a license. But she's not. She's Mimi. Look. Doesn't matter. Point is, I still think she's Mimi. Her personality really changes at the drop of a hat. It's interesting, isn't it, Phoenix? Bit by bit, we're beginning to see the real contradiction behind this case. She like would say things like, no way am I letting a noob drive my car. Was your sister good at driving? She was like totally awesome. She like said she was going to be the like racing queen of nursing world. Somehow I think she bumped my question off track again. So, like, that's why I ended up in the passenger seat that night, too. And that was when the accident occurred, correct? Like, yeah. I, like, immediately reached for the passenger side door. And fled, like, in a daze. Sounds like you had a terrifying time. There's something very big here. It's gonna be hard to break apart such a natural-sounding testimony. We have to attack it, and by doing so, a flaw will show itself. It has to. Do you really think so? Believe. There's a path, and know it. Mia almost sounded like a prophet for a second there. Okay, right. Oops, I didn't read that. Sis was like a big fan of cars and really valued them. Her new car was a totally special model from England. She would say things like, no way am I letting a noob drive my car. That's why I ended up in the passenger seat that night too. Alright, let me look at my court record. I want to see what that says again. See, in this thing it says I opened the right door and got out. I don't remember anything else. But in the picture that they keep showing, she got out the left door. If Ini Miney is to believe, the one driving the car was her sister Mimi. But I don't know how to prove that. I mean, I'm in the last case, so I might as well, like, risk it, I suppose. Right, okay, hang on. Okay, right, that's the last statement, so... I'm gonna try it. Oh, it went quiet. Ms. Meany, do you remember this article? It's an article about the accident. You'd said this in it. But I opened the right- yes! The right door and got out. That's correct, isn't it? Like, why are you suddenly asking me about that? Your Honor, which side is the passenger seat? The left or the right? Well, it's on the right side, of course. Because the driver's on the left side. That would be it if it were an American car. But it'd be the opposite in a British car. Opposite? The two of them were riding in a British car. In that case, the passenger side would be the left side. It is true. As a Brit, I can confirm. That is how cars work. And I know it's us that's wrong, and most places in the world drive on the left. But you know what? No, drive on the right. We drive on the left. I know that most places in the world drive on the right and we drive on the left, but you're all wrong. It's actually us that's right. What do you mean by this? Ms. Meany, you said that you'd escaped using the right side door of the car. But if you were sitting there, then that means you were in the driver's seat. Order! Order in the court! Order! Order! Mr. Phoenix Wright is blabbering nonsense again. Ini said the person who was driving was her older sister, Mimi Meany. That is what Ini said, yeah, but that's where her story falls apart. Somewhere, all of us made a big error in our assumptions. Phoenix, it looks like you finally found the real root of this murder. Oh, is that why Mia knew? Is it because she's a spirit and she's like met the real dead sister on the other side or whatever, and she's like, I know something about this murder, but like, you can't use it in court because saying like my dead friend met her on the other side isn't going to hold up in court, so she needed him to figure it out for himself. If we connect all the dots, there can only be one answer. I'd like to ask the court a question. Ini or Mimi, who was really driving that night? Ini. Ini was driving. And the answer is Ini Miney, of course. But why would you say that? Miss Ini Miney just said so herself in her testimony. She said that she escaped the car from the right side door, which would have been where the driver's seat was. I'm inclined to feel sorry for a foolish fool who foolishly spends his time foolishly. At that time, Miss Ini Miney had not yet received her driver's license. And that is why the accident happened. Hold it, Phoenix. It looks like you still don't see the real truth behind the accident. The real truth? Think outside the box. Isn't that what we always say? Alright, one more time. Oh, right, okay. So Mimi was driving. Yeah, because she was driving, yeah, right, okay. She was driving because she is Mimi. This is getting so confusing, but yeah. She was in the driver's seat because she is Mimi, and Ini was in the passenger seat because Ini is the one that died, and Mimi is the one that lived, but Mimi pretended to be Ini. Yes. So Mimi was driving. This is confusing. The answer is the one person who had her driver's license, Mimi Miney. After all, that makes her the only person who could legally drive. But you just said the witness, Miss Ini Miney, was the one in the driver's seat. Which leads us to the next question. The next question? Who is that in the stand? Who is the person standing on the witness stand right now? Exactly! Because she's not Ini Miney, she's Mimi Miney! And I've said it since we were in the hospital! What sort of idiotic ruse is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This witness's name is... Oh, look at the bar. I'll tell you what her name really is. This witness's real name is... And if you notice, look. They look the same. Yeah, look, they look the same. Right. Mimi Miney. That is your real name. Of all the foolish dribble, then how do you explain her appearance? When she was admitted into the hospital, this witness was suffering severe facial burns. So for the purpose of facial reconstruction, they used a picture. Facial reconstruction surgery? This is the picture she gave to her doctors at the time. That's right. It's a picture of her younger sister. But Mimi Miney, she died in the car accident. That's what everyone thought. However, that was not the case. Then the body they found at the crash site, that was the body of the real Ini Miney. Isn't that right, Ms. Mimi Miney? That car accident 1 year ago, the one who died that night was Ini Miney. Her sister, Mimi, then stole her face and was reborn as Ini. With this, she effectively erased Mimi Miney from existence. Your Honor, I'm sure you can now see why Mimi had to kill Dr. Gray. What do you mean? What is the meaning of this nonsense? Dr. Gray wanted to call back the spirit of a dead person. Specifically, the spirit of his nurse that died in the crash, Mimi Miney. However, that would not have been possible. Because Mimi Miney was still, in fact, alive. And that fact would have been discovered had the channeling been conducted. So this witness had to stop that from happening at all costs. And that's why she had to kill Dr. Turner Gray? Is that what you're saying? Yes. Before the channeling, Dr. Gray had the misfortune of consulting this witness about communicating with the dead. And in that moment, his fate was sealed. Well, Ms. Ini, Ms. Von Karma, why did you say my name just now? Looks like I've been unmasked. Witness? That's right. I admit it. My real name is Ini Miney. That quack doctor, he got what he deserved in the end. And I was so close to finally ditching Mimi too. So close. But why? Why would you go so far to throw away yourself? To become your own sister? Oh, because that would get her out of the malpractice lawsuit thing. And if Mimi died, then the whole case would just be dropped and she could have went on with her life. Ini Miney wanted herself to disappear because of this. That's about the malpractice incident. Dr. Gray was right. The mistake was caused by the nurse. A nurse by the name of Ini Miney. That's right, the person standing before us today. And a few weeks after this mishap, Ini Miney had a car accident in which she lost her younger sister. The timing couldn't have been worse. 14 patients dying in that incident, and her own sister's life extinguished. It was all too much to bear. I found a way for myself to escape it all. The only way. She lost everything in the flames of that accident. Her sister, and even her own face. This was her last chance. Her chance to throw away her past and start a new life as her sister. God, that's actually really sad. Unbelievable. A plan beyond my wildest imagination. That jerk. Only he hadn't thought of that channeling mumbo-jumbo. Mumbo-jumbo? Becoming Ini has been the most horrible experience in the world. Spirit channeling, the occult. I hate it. I hate it all. I believe there are still a few unsolved riddles here. Why did you set a murderous revenge plot into motion? And why did Miss Morgan Fay agree to help you with the plan? Regardless, I believe one thing has been made crystal clear. The innocence of the defendant Maya Fay. This is preposterous! I'm perfect! Me, Franziska von Karma! I'm going to enjoy the news tonight, Miss von Karma. How about you? It's going to be broadcast all over the world, right? Your defeat, that is. Oh my god. And one more for good measure. Jeez, oh god, he died. Oh well. Phoenix! Hang in there, Phoenix! Phoenix! This court is a fraud, a sham! Now then, it looks like it will be some time before Mr. Wright regains consciousness. Oh, please don't get amnesia again. So I will go ahead and pronounce the verdict. Not guilty! Woo! I still wish that if you were in court and you get found not guilty that they put out confetti, because that's hilarious. Or actually, when the person gets found guilty, they put out confetti. It's like, and you're guilty on 7 counts of murder. Woo! All the audience are like, hey! Get out of the vuvuzelas. That is all. This court is adjourned. Woohoo! We did it! We did it! 22nd, June 22nd, 3rd, right. June 22nd, 3rd, oh my god, I can't speak. June 22nd, 3:13 p.m, District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Congratulations, Maya. Sis? Aww. Aww. It's good to see you, Maya. What are you doing? Sis, sis. I didn't kill anyone, did I? No, you didn't. It was all just a dream. A really bad dream. You know, sis, in my dream, I smelled a really familiar scent. A familiar scent? I was inside that clothing box, right? That box. That was the box you used to store your clothes in a long time ago. That's right. There is still one thing I don't quite get. What's that? What would have happened if Mimi hadn't shot Dr. Gray? I mean, we broke in because we heard a gunshot. I think Mimi Miney had planned to open the door to the chamber herself. And then you and Lotta would have witnessed quite a scene. A possessed Maya Fey who had just committed a murder. She had it planned down to the smallest detail, huh? Nick! Congrats, Maya. Thanks. Looks like you bailed me out of another jam. Well, you know. But I really don't want something like this to happen ever again. I'm fine because I have you to help me out, Nick. But every time something happens, I lose someone special to me. First my sister, and then my aunt. Hey Nick, tell me. Tell me why my aunt went and did something so horrible. Why would she help Miss Mimi with a plan like that? I just don't understand it, Nick. Maya, it's over. Why don't we just let it be? Nick, please, I need an answer. The reason Morgan helped Mimi with her plan was... We don't have a profile for Misty. But I think it... Is the answer Pearl? I think the answer is Pearl. Let me double check. Yeah, present Pearl Faye's profile. Pearly? 4 years from now, a new master will be born into the Korean village. And that person will be you, Maya. And? But if you weren't there, then the main family's bloodline would disappear. And what would happen then? The Branch family. My aunt. No, Morgan's spiritual power is too weak. The next person would be Pearl's. Ah. Everything was done for her sake. It was all so that Pearl's would become the next master. Yeah, I can see that. Did Maya say something just now? I think that she was saying, I thought so. Date and time unknown. Detention center. Solitary confinement cell 13. My precious Pearl. You're the only one suitable to be the master of Korean, dear child. I sacrificed it all for you. I helped that brainless nurse carry out her murder, and cooperated with that whip-happy prosecutor. It was all to unseat that annoying, whipless main family girl. That Maya Fey. But I shall be patient, my dearest Pearl. A chance will I feel like this is giving me back Narissa vibes, you know, when she's like, I know it was for obedience, but she's like, someone had to have a vision, Caleb. On Meridian, that was you. But I play on a larger scale. That's what that gives me the vibes of. A chance will present itself. Your time will come. So is she coming back, do you think? Do we think she's going to come back and commit some more crimes? Because it seems like she's going to continue to be a bit of a pain in our teeth. We did it! Oh lords. So what I've heard from the internet and other people who have played this game, because a lot of my friends are big Ace Attorney fans and I'm just really late to the party. And because I play it to record it, I go really slow because I can't just sit and play it on my couch whenever I feel like it. Like, I have to actually have the energy and the time and an empty house to sit and record. So even when my friends started playing it, like, I have a friend who started playing it after me, but then rallied on past where I am because I've taken a year to get around to recording the next one. Save. Yeah, so what I've heard from people that have played this game is that Turnabout Big Top is one of, if not the worst cases in the entire series. Apparently it's terrible. Now, I personally hate the circus. I hate everything about the circus. I hate clowns. I hate everything. I hate the music. I hate the actual tent. I hate the circus. So I don't imagine I'm gonna have a good time with Turnabout Big Top. But I guess we'll see. How many? I think it's the same length as this one. So yeah, investigation, trial, trial, investigation, trial, trial. So yeah, that's fine. And then the last one, farewell, my turnabout, is investigation, investigation, trial, trial, investigation, investigation, trial, trial. So it's like double the length. Well, not double the length. It's got 2 extra investigation days in it, so it's almost double the length. Okay, well, cool. So we got to the end of Reunion Turnabout. I was right. She was Mimi Meanie. I'd said it all along. I was right. Go me! I figured it out. So after I did so shit in the first 2 trials, I'm buzzing that I got it right in the end. But yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get around to starting Turnabout Big Talks. Like I said, I am going away next week, and I don't think I'll have time before I go away to start recording the next one. So this is probably a good place to stop, and then we can come back when I'm back from my trip and start on Tournament Big Top. But thank you for being with me, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, everyone.